Hey guys, today I'm talking about the trickiest part of a van build, and that is how to finish out this corner right here. Now, if you buy a van that has a bulkhead, which this van did, then the bulkhead was attached right here, and so it comes with a different configuration than if you just order a van without the bulkhead. So without the bulkhead, uh, this piece right here, the pillar trim piece, doesn't wrap around. On a normal, not normal, but on a most vans that don't have the bulkhead, this pillar cover will wrap all the way around, and then this gasket that goes all the way around the slider has a rubber flange on it that kind of matches up and fills in the gap. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to finish out if your van looks like this and had the bulkhead originally, then I'm going to show you how to do that. If you're just missing this piece right here, I'm going to show you how to do that. And even if your van came with this piece, I'm going to show you how I finish these out. I think it ends up looking really nice, and it's not that hard. It does cost a few $100s for the pillar, the gasket, and the piece you're going to need up here, but it saves you a ton of time in trying to template things out and also in trying to figure out just how to finish this out, and it's going to look a whole lot better. It's going to look very professional. So let's get into it. So this is the piece you're going to need in order to finish this out, and this is kind of a tricky piece to find. A lot of vans come with this. Like I've ordered vans from the factory and without the bulkhead, and they come with this piece. But if you don't have the piece, you can buy this. I paid about, I think, $77 for this, and your dealer may have these in stock. The tricky thing is just knowing what to call them. And so I'm going to put the part number and the description of it and a link to where I buy them. I actually buy them online. They're a little bit cheaper than getting them from the dealer. And what this piece does is it goes right up here, and then I wrap this in fabric, and it gives you a really nice finished look. Now you can trim it down so it's not so big. It is pretty bulky. You can also buy the piece for the other side, for over here. I'm not using it in this van because I'm going to have a shower that comes up pretty close to this, so I don't need to cover that. But this side I do, and so I'm going to show you exactly how I cover this and attach it and make this look like a really nice finished piece.
So the first thing you're going to want to do is take that pillar block and decide whether you want to use it as is or trim it down. I like to trim about 3 or 4 inches off, and you can do this with a hand saw. I use a band saw, but if you do that, you just want to trim it off, and then you want to kind of round it over so it matches the other one. Then I use this spray adhesive. It's called Permatex. It's a headliner adhesive. You can also use just a 3M like Spray 90. Then you want to cut a piece of fabric. I use what's called Marathon fabric or Duramax fabric. It has just a little bit of stretch in it that's going to make it easier to go around all these contours. And so you want to spray on the adhesive, and you don't want to get too much. You want to get a good application, but you don't want it to soak through. And so you spray it on both surfaces, but you don't want to spray the whole thing. You just want to spray a little bit to get started. And then after you spray, you want to wait a minute or two for it to get tacky. So you can see here, it's just a little bit tacky, and that's when it's ready to go. So I like to start in that deep contour and cover that part first. And so here I am kind of working it into that contour, and just go really slowly, and you can peel it back if you need to. Just do a little bit of it at a time. But I like to get it into that contour, make sure that is really, no wrinkles or creases or anything like that in that part. And then I'll fold it back, and I'll spray some more of the adhesive on. I'll wait a couple of minutes, and then I'll go ahead and do the rest of it. Then I just continue working it in. And as you change the contour, so you've kind of done that dished out section, and now you're going over the top, you need to really work slowly and just kind of work it in and work out the wrinkles. It will stretch. It has a four-way stretch to it. It's not much of a stretch, but it's enough that if you go really slow and just keep pushing it, you can get it to work around all the different contours. Once I've worked it into a section and finished that part, I trim off the excess material just so it's not in the way. Then I just continue working it over all the contours. Now this is the trickiest part, is you go around that big dished out area and then you've got this kind of a flat part. You got like 3 or 4 different directions that the contours are going. And so work it in as best as you can, but I've found that it's best to make a little cut right on top and create a seam. And it's really not that noticeable because the ceiling is going to cover most of it. Then I just go around and trim off all the excess where it's not going to be showing. And this part right here is going to be tucked underneath the headliner. This part is going to be down underneath the pillar cover. And so you're not going to see these parts, so I just trim them off and kind of tuck over the excess. Then I just finish off that top portion, fold it over, and then I found that using a heat gun just to kind of go over it just makes all the edges not fray. Then you're ready to install it. And what I found is it works best to pull out the pillar cover, and then you're going to have to undo some of the clips on the headliner and pull it down and get the part of the foam block underneath the rib in the ceiling, right where the headliner meets the cab. And so you get it up underneath there and slide it down into the pillar cover, and it just kind of keeps itself in place. The ceiling is going to come across and cover the upper part of the foam block, so you're not going to see some of it. So this is what it looks like installed. You can see that it goes in really nicely and just matches the contour perfectly. And here it is with the ceiling all installed. You can see how clean it looks. I will put a little piece of trim right around the edge to kind of finish that off. I really think this is the fastest, cleanest way to finish off this trouble spot in the van. And hopefully this helped you. If you have questions, drop them in the comments section, and we'll see you in the next video.